Okay, so today's stick is from Deadwood Tobacco Company, uh, division of Drew Estates. It is the Leather Rose. Leather Rose. Petite Corona. That is a 4x43 with a Maduro wrapper. It's interesting they call that a Maduro wrapper because it looks rather light for a Maduro. Maduros are usually much darker, but that's I did the research on these, and that's apparently what that is. In addition, I actually did a little bit of research on this before I started this up today. So it is all Nicaraguan tobacco, filler, binder, and wrapper. This is what they call their Yummy Bitches line. And if I remember this correctly, Deadwood Tobacco Company uses pipe tobacco, aromatic tobaccos, which is a little different. So you get kind of a pipe tobacco flavor in a cigar. At least that's what I am remembering from when I first heard about them. I believe that's the situation. But anyway, so in fact, I know I've done some other Deadwoods. Maybe I've even done a Leather Rose on the channel before, but today it's a Petite Corona. And as you can see, it's that very iconic cigar band art that they use for the Yummy Bitches. Kind of a Mexican looking young lady of the evening. I believe that's what the whole mystique is all about. Spider web, I don't know. But anyway, that's the band. Talk about rustic looking, and which is, I think, it matches, Deadwood Tobacco, but very veiny, very splotched, darker areas, very bumpy. My eyesight is not as good as it used to be, but trying to get a look at this wrapper. It's moderately toothy, maybe even less than moderately toothy, but Maduro wrappers generally are quite toothy, but maybe the reason that it's not as toothy is because of the much lighter color. Could be. Construction is, exactly what you'd expect. It's a little soft right there at the tip, but no, it feels pretty good. Sweetened tip, but moderately so, not cloying or overwhelmingly. Smells sweet, has a nice floral aroma. Yeah, because from the first inhale, I just had a flashback to walking into a florist. You just walk into a wall of flower aroma, and that's what I'm getting from this. Of course, with a strong tobacco note, and with all the floral. The floral is more the kind of like the background. But it is nice. So let's give it a cut and a cold draw I'm using my... I do have a punch that would work on that small size, but I don't really feel like going through all that, so we will just snip the tip, and that went everywhere. One thing I just get annoyed at is when I cut a cigar and what's left of the cap doesn't actually hold it together. It comes apart. I know they don't want to use the minimal amount of cigar glue needed, but you know, really, and that is quite a large. That's what I just cut. That's not the foot. That is the tip. Tip almost has a bit of a box press shape, but these are not box press. Cold draw. Sweet. There was a note that kind of like popped and then faded out of like licorice or anise, you know, something of that kind of. It really made me think of this old-fashioned licorice candy we used to get when I was a kid. I tell kids today licorice candy to freak out. But yeah, that was a treat for me back then. Yep, there it is again. It's a note, and then the rest of it is just a. I haven't smoked my pipe in a long time. I haven't smoked any actual pipe tobacco for a while, so I don't know just how this compares to that. But yep. Oh, you know, I'm noticing it more and more. It's almost like it's that anise flavor is right up front. At least it was with that one, or maybe just because of the very large cold draw. But let's actually get some smoke on this. Give it a nice roast. Get that tip glowing. Getting the tip glowing red just before you take the first draw on it. Gives you the flavor of the cigar. It's interesting, in the smoke, that anise flavor is much more muted, but it's still there, and it's more in the background. But it is still there, yeah. And of course, that leathery, old leather flavor that you get. I don't know if it's because of the cigar that I'm smoking, the type of cigar that I'm smoking, or because I'm in an enclosed area, but I'm noticing the aroma of the smoke more than I normally do. Does remind me of my pipe tobacco. I should probably do a pipe tobacco review on this channel one of these days, because I would really like to show off my pipe. My pipe is a Cobbett. It is the Shire model. It's a corn cob, but this is not like the corn cobs. If you're familiar, if you're from around my age, the sometimes larger corn cob pipes, tobacco pipes that they used to sell at convenience stores and gas stations. It's not one of those cheap things, although those were actually made by the same company, Missouri Meerschaum. They have, it's a company that's been in existence for about 150 years. I think it was all started by a guy who one day just made a pipe out of a corn cob, and other people liked it so much they asked him, hey, would you make me one? And so he did, and demand grew, and eventually he just started doing it as a side business, and eventually it became an actual full-fledged business. And what Missouri Meerschaum has done is to develop their own strain of corn to maximize the thickness and the size, the largeness, thickness, strength of the cob, not really caring about any other properties from the corn, just wanting to get a very good cob. So they have excellent cobs. They're very strong. They drill them through and then plug the bottom with a hardwood plug. And the thing is, they have a whole lot more, much more variety of sizes and shapes than those two that used to be sold in convenience stores. The old cheap weed pipes. And the one I have is from their Cobbett collection, which is a series of churchwarden pipes, long-stemmed pipes, that are inspired by the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And the one I have is the Shire. The Shire has a egg-shaped bowl and about a I would say I think it's about a 9-inch stem. And it's a good sized bowl. And what they do with their Cobbett bowls is they first coat them in plaster. That fills in all the gaps and all the little holes and everything, and also makes for a smooth size. Then they put it on a lathe and they turn it into whatever shape that they want for whatever that model is, and then they will stain it, which brings out the cob webbing in it, so you get that real, it looks exactly like a corn cob, and then coat of shellac. So, and these pipes are made to last. I've had mine now for what? Maybe 15 years, 12 to 15. I don't smoke it that often very much anymore. I used to smoke it much more often, but I haven't. I still have some pipe tobacco. To tell you the truth, I don't even know if it's still any good anymore. I'd have to find out. But tasty cigar. More and more, I'm liking the shorter cigars because it is generally I don't really have the time to, smoke a longer cigar. Although I have one here. I believe I've done this one. This is an acid croqueta. Oh, actually, it's two. I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, it's two in a single. I thought I had a full length when I looked at the. I've had this a while. I haven't really looked at it too often, but there it is. I got two Coronas, two Croqueta, short. They look like they're probably 50 ring, maybe a 48. I have to do one of those on the channel in a review. But yes, this is an excellent cigar. And of course, because of the size of the cut, very easy draw. Tasty. See ya.